Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. If you're coming on, joining us live, please do me a quick favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and tag Lolly Dolly everybody. And let them know that your boy, Ramon Preston, my squad, we are all live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. It is Wednesday, W-I-N-S Day, Wednesday, March the 19th, 2025, and we are live. Hit the like button, hit the share button, tag somebody and let them know that the Ramon Preston Show is live on this beautiful Wednesday. Good afternoon. My hope, my prayer, my expectation is that your day is going absolutely amazing. If you're coming on, joining us live, we're going to continue part 2 of a conversation that we have been having about the ecosystem of wealth building. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't want to have wealth in their lives. Of course, wealth can encompass more than just financial, but I don't know anybody that doesn't want some level of financial wealth. And so we'll be talking part 2 on the ecosystem of wealth building. Please, if you have a question, put it in the comments. Also, put in the comments what city or state you're watching the Ramon Preston Show from. I would love to know where you are watching the show from. So again, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Ramon Preston, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. My team and I, we take a few minutes, about 30 minutes every day to come live in the middle of a busy work day to share information with you that we know can help you in your journey to be financially free, in your journey to retire, in your journey to build and expand your business, in your journey to invest. If you're looking for creative ways to make more money, invest, retire early, whatever the things are regarding your personal, professional, and financial life, we just like to share information on this show to help you along the way. Of course, we have a lot of products, we have services, we have programs that we offer, whether they are educational programs like our Millionaire Blueprint, whether they are other high-level strategies and services that we offer through our private equity firm. We just want to be available to help our people get to the next level. So I'm going to assume today that you didn't watch yesterday's show. I'm going to assume that you didn't watch the show yesterday, so you might not know what we talked about. But yesterday I talked about the ecosystem of wealth building, the ecosystem of wealth building. And when you are engineering an ecosystem of wealth building, there are certain steps that you have to take. There's a certain process that you have to undergo. And it really doesn't matter how much money you make an hour. It doesn't matter if you feel like you are unsuccessful or successful. Everyone who becomes wealthy, everyone who becomes a millionaire, everyone who becomes financially free. Not all financially free people are wealthy. Some of them are millionaires. But if you plan on experiencing what those who experience that are financially free, that are millionaires and wealthy, it takes some engineering. It takes some engineering. Now, the good thing is we live in a world where you can learn how to engineer wealth building yourself, or you can hire people to help engineer that wealth. It just depends on what type of person you are, okay? Our private equity firm, we have clients who really don't want another job. They don't want to have to go through this whole learning process to build wealth. They just want to deploy their capital. They want to invest their money in vehicles, in mechanisms, in things that make them money because they are working a job, they are running their business, they're leading their churches and congregations or whatever it is that they're doing, and they don't want to take on a new job. So it just depends on what type of individual you are and what works best for you. So you could be an individual who wants to do it all yourself. You could be an individual who just wants to understand it, but you would prefer someone else to do it. Either way, the process is going to be fundamentally the same, okay? So we put together, at least I tried to draw what my team has created a graph for, but these are the 7 steps that are in a sequential order to help you understand what does the process look like when you're engineering an ecosystem of wealth building. Okay, what does that process look like? For me, as a preacherpreneur, as a pastorpreneur, as a man of faith who has an assignment in the ministry and in the marketplace, I believe, and you may feel different about this, but I believe that process begins with value creation right here. This would be the first step. Value creation. That's what I think it starts with, value creation. Now, because I've already given you a high-level overview of these 7 steps, I could kind of go into some of the details today. So when I say create value, what do I mean? What do I mean? Well, what I mean is you have to take the assets that you have, because you can't use as a lame excuse. I ain't got no money. I ain't got this. I ain't educated. I don't know nobody. It's all a lame excuse, okay? Creating value is about taking your most valuable assets and using them to bring value to other people. So what assets do you have today that it doesn't matter what you're going through, you can still use? Well, the number one asset you have is time. So you should be writing this down, taking notes, or typing it in some device. You create value by taking your time. I'm going to give you another asset here. Talent. Now you might say, I ain't good at nothing. It's not true. God has given every human being at least one talent. There's at least one thing you are extremely good at. Now, it might not be developed. It might not be polished. It might need some fine tuning, but there's at least one thing inside of you that God has put in there that works if you work it. So you have time, you have talents, and then you have other resources. What are some other resources? Well, if you were to put a list of all the people you know, if you just write down all the people you know, anybody you could think of that you personally know, well, in today's world, you don't even have to write them down. You might look in your phone and just count how many people do I really know. But if you took that list of people, if I just took all the people, and I know way more people that's in my phone because I don't keep a whole lot of people in my phone. I honestly don't. But let me just say if I took everybody in my phone, everybody that I know, and let's say if I broke all them up or compartmentalized all them into different sectors, like who do I know that owns a business? And I'll create that list. Who do I know that has a corporate level job? Who do I know that sells products or services? Like if you start breaking all the people you know down, here's what you're going to find out. You got more resources than you think you have. But if you're around here in a fog every day acting goofy like you don't know if you're coming or going, you're never going to create value for other people. All you're going to do is try to figure out how somebody else can give you something when you got enough to give other people. So the first step to engineering an ecosystem of wealth building is you got to start identifying with the things that you have that nobody can take from you, okay? This is how you create value. You got to learn to create value. So it starts with time, talent, resources, period. Just resources. Resources like relationships, resources like connections. You got access to certain rooms other people don't have access to. You got resources. You have to learn to use them. And again, I believe wealth building, it is engineered one block, one step at a time. Start with creating value. If you make a commitment today to just create massive value in the lives of everybody that you come into contact with, it's inevitable that at some point you'll get to step 2, which is making money. It's just inevitable. It's inevitable. I mean, let me give you an easy example. If, let's just say you knew how to do something better than other people knew how to do. It don't even have to be better. It could just be, I know how to wash cars. I know how to cut grass. I know how to clean, right? Whatever it is. Or I know how to cook. If all you did was just looked at how many people you knew and said, you know what, I'm gonna take 10 people in my phone that I know, that I love, that I have a relationship with, and I'm gonna identify with at least 10 people. Let's just say if you knew how to cook, right? And you took 10 people and said, you know what, I'm gonna cook 10 people a meal, one meal every week. And I'm gonna call all 10 of them and say, what day of the week what day of the week do you feel like is the day that you don't want to cook and you would love to have a meal for me to cook for you? I'm just giving you a hypothetical example. And you took those 10 and you did that every week. Do you think at some point, whether it's week 1, week 2, week 21, week 22, do you think at some point, money is not going to just come to you just because you're doing that every week? At some point, either one of those 10 people or somebody that they tell is going to call you and say, hey, I know what you're doing for Joe over here. Susie told me what you're doing for her. I would love for you to do that for me, and I'm willing to pay you. Like, it's inevitable. Most people overlook the fact that creating value just with your time, your talents, and other resources is the most brilliant way for you to make money without even asking people to buy something, just creating value. Okay? So the next step is to make money. Remember, we're engineering an ecosystem of wealth building. But don't jump to the money making part, because if you jump to this part without looking at the value creation, you're going to miss critical components. You're gonna miss those little nuances, those little microscopic opportunities, because most people, when they broke, they look at making money and they only think about working more hours, getting a second job, or just something that everybody else does. If what you're thinking about doing, everybody on the planet is doing, the chances of that really working and impacting you are much lower. You got to find the thing or things that other people are probably not doing, or a whole lot of people are not doing. And I can guarantee you this. There's a lot of people who are looking for ways to make money, but very few people that are looking for money to be made are looking at value creation, because they feel like, I don't want to give up all my time, all my talents, all my this, all my that to make money, when I don't have to do it to make money. I just need to do it because it's the right thing to do. And I want to create as much value, because the more value I create, the more money it attracts. Duh. That's how it works, y'all. I'm telling you. So you create value, and then you start making money. Now, my recommendation is you get to a point to where you start creating enough value, and when that specific value you start creating starts to make money, you take that money and then you follow the other sequence. Okay? So for example, if you're working a job right now and you know there's a certain amount of money you making on your job and you got your life set up the way you do, and you're looking for a new way to make new money in addition to what you already make, then you need to create a new set of values. Like, what new things can I do to create value? And once those things start creating new money, don't do with the new money what you're doing with the current money. You got to do something different. You got to break the cycle, right? So what you do is you make it, and then for me, this might not be for you. You might want to skip this, but I guarantee if you skip any of these steps, don't blame me or some social media influencer or an online guru because it's not working. Don't blame us. You're not doing it the way it's supposed to get done. So for me, I'm going to go to step 3 and I'm going to give. So I'm going to pay my tithes. I'm going to give. I put charity here, but really for me, I'm a church goer. So I'm paying tithes and I'm giving offerings. Okay. I'm going to pay tithes. I'm going to give offerings. I'm going to sow some seeds. I'm going to be a blessing to the church. And right under here, you can't hardly see it, but I say pay yourself. So I'm going to take a percentage of that. I'm going to take a percentage and I'm going to give, pay my tithes, give an offering, sow a seed, and then I'm going to pay myself. I'm going to take a small percentage just to say, this is for me and my wife to go on a date night, or we're going to set this aside for a vacation. Okay, it's just a small percentage. And then I'm going to take another percentage of that money right here and I'm going to invest it. Most people never do this. Most people never do this. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. So for years, my wife and I, we would create value. We would make a little money. We're going to pay our tithes. We're going to sow our seeds. We're going to set a couple dollars aside for our vacation or for something special we know we're going to be doing for our children or whatever. And then as entrepreneurs, we would have to reinvest back into our business. So you're going to have your business. You want to get to a point, especially if you're an entrepreneur, that you're not just putting all your money back in your business. You need to invest in other vehicles. You just got to find other investments that you could put some money in, that you don't lose the capital. You protect and preserve that initial capital, and that capital can work for you. Because like I used to take a lot of risk. I put all that money back in my business, but then I have a season or a cycle in my business where I'm not generating enough revenue. I'm not selling enough. I'm not doing whatever is happening. And now that money gone, right? You spent it all in marketing. You hired some virtual assistants and that played out after 3 months, or you bought inventory and now you got a garage full of shirts and hoodies. Like, you can't just do that with all your money. You have to take a percentage of that and invest it as an entrepreneur in your business. But at some point you have to invest in other vehicles that have a little bit more stability, that have some long-term appreciation, whether it's real estate, whether it's crowdfunding, syndications. There's so many different vehicles that you can use to invest in, but you just got to do that. And then the next step is I want to repurpose money into certain mechanisms. So that means if I put money here in an investment vehicle, at some point that investment vehicle is going to kick off some dividend, some distribution, some cash flow. It's going to kick off some type of return on my initial investment. What I want to do is I want to take what that investment kicks off and I want to drop it and repurpose it. I want to repurpose this money. I don't want to take what I make from an investment and spend it on expenses or spend it on lifestyle. I don't want to do that. I don't want to skip the repurpose. I want to take money that my money made and I want to reinvest that money. So that's how you create right here this cycle of compound interest. This becomes a cycle of compound interest. You hear a lot of people say compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Well, compound interest is really something that you can self-engineer if you are disciplined to do what I'm saying you should be doing. And then when this ecosystem starts kicking off some cash, then you're going to have expenses. Now, if you're living your life, and we're not talking about money you're making with your job right now. I'm talking about you creating new money. But if this is money that you're making with your job, the percentage that you invest and repurpose may be much lower, but there still needs to be something, even if the only money you making is from your job. Don't give me no lame excuse talking about I don't make enough money. I was just telling this to my coaching clients the other day that I sit in front of people and talk to people all the time who tell me they invest money or they want to invest money that they got saved, and these people are not making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're making the same amount of money other people who saying they ain't got no money are making. You know why they got money? Because they ain't got a whole lot of doggone expenses. They're not trying to build a lifestyle based on $10, $15 an hour. So they keep their expenses low and they don't even look at lifestyle. That ain't even a part of their conversation. They driving old cars with no car payments. They living in the same apartment that they lived in for 15 years. And all they doing is just stacking that paper, getting that money. They not wearing designer clothes. They ain't traveling lavishly. They live on a budget. They don't eat out 2-3 times a week. Why? Because they're trying to take as much money as they make after they give themselves a little bit, and they dropping it in things so that it can make more money for them. At some point, you have to take control of your own life, and you can't keep using as an excuse, I don't have enough money. I hear that lame excuse all the time from people. I ain't got enough money. I don't make enough money. When I start making this, when I start making that, you ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing. You just talking. You ain't gonna do nothing. People who be saying that, telling me that, I already know what they gonna do. Nothing. And if you hear people telling you, yeah, when I come up, I'm gonna put some money over here, and you know, when I get a little bag, I'm gonna buy me some stocks, and you know, I'm gonna buy a piece of, you ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna buy a piece of real estate, you ain't gonna do nothing. You just talking. You know why you ain't gonna do nothing? Because if you ain't doing nothing on your next payday, you ain't gonna do it. If you're not gonna do anything that I'm saying to do on your next payday, you ain't gonna do it. I don't get paid enough. It doesn't matter. Nobody gets paid enough. You act like you the only person in the world that don't get paid enough. We all work for less than what we should. None of us get paid enough. But we still have to be disciplined. And more importantly, we need to be committed. And our commitment helps us with our discipline, and our discipline puts us on track so that we can start executing. So hopefully today's show resonated with you. Maybe it offended you. Maybe it challenged you. Maybe it stirred you up. And maybe there is something that I said that you know you should be doing. And my team and I, we are always available. As I said, we do have educational programs like our Millionaire Blueprint. It's a coaching and educational program that you can learn these things. But maybe you're at a point in your life where you just don't have the time to go through university training courses. If so, my team and I will be more than happy to take a few minutes to take a look at what you want to do, and we can give you some direction on what the most important steps are that need to be taken. And if there's anything we can do to help assist you, that's why we're here. Okay? We build our lives in a way that we can be available for the people who need us. And we already know the more successful you are, the more successful we become. So I hope today's show brought value to you. Please do me a favor. Leave a comment. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. And if there are some questions you have that you don't feel comfortable asking on a live show, look in the description and there's some contact information. Reach out to my team and I will be more than happy to answer those questions and help you along the way. So with that being said, thank you for joining the Ramon Preston Show today. We love you. We appreciate you. We are praying for you, and we expect nothing but God's best for you. And we will see you tomorrow, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon, right here, my friends, on the